It is unconscionable that in 2023, innocent people, including babies, children, teenagers, mothers and fathers, the elderly, have been stolen by barbaric thugs as spoils of war. A lot of Jewish people felt frightened to come here today, and that is understandable. We feel vulnerable and alone in this country. We are experiencing a wave, a growing one, of vile anti-Semitism here in New Zealand, the scale of which is unfamiliar to us, and yet, in a way, too familiar. Fanning the flames are politicians with little understanding and a lot of incendiary language, religious leaders who we would have hoped knew better, and an uninformed and credulous media. We see New Zealanders, some of whom consider themselves progressive, siding with the perpetrators of the worst atrocity against Jews since the Holocaust. Siding with the rapists of countless women, with the butchers of babies, with the destroyers of families, with the kidnappers of children and the elderly. Siding with those who revelled and celebrated in the carnage, filming it for posterity and for psychological warfare to inflict further pain and trauma on innocent people. There are people walking among us, even teaching in our universities, who justify these things, who say Israel had it coming. And even though the Hamas murderers went to the trouble of documenting their crimes, we are witnessing Holocaust denial in real time, as countless keyboard warriors still demand proof that these things happened. But we had to come here today because we need to stand up for what is right, against terror, to grieve for the murdered, and to stand alongside the families of those taken hostage in their hour of need, to amplify their demand for the release of the hostages, to tell them and their families and friends and communities that they are not alone, that the Jewish community of New Zealand stands with them, that we feel their pain, that we pray for them. In the words of Rabbi Hillel, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? If I am only for myself, who am I? And if not now, when? They are our people, our brothers and sisters, our children, our parents, our grandparents, our aunts and uncles, our cousins. They are us. Those who talk of ceasefire without demanding the release of the hostages as a precondition see these precious lives as expendable, as a legitimate sacrifice for the greater good. We cannot allow that cynicism, that moral perversion to dominate. All human beings with a conscience must demand that the hostages are released. This is not inconsistent with being hugely sympathetic and concerned with the suffering of those innocent people, including children in Gaza, whose leaders have intentionally placed them in a double war crime in harm's way. What happened on October 7 was a pogrom, and what followed was a blood libel. The Jewish world was not given time to grieve before the start of the moral inversion, where Israel is falsely accused of genocide while it seeks to desperately prevent Iran-backed Hamas from achieving its goal of the complete annihilation of Israel and the Jewish people. In this moral inversion, the victims are dehumanized. They can't be innocent because they are Israeli. They are conceived in sin. The anti-Semitism, because that's what it is breathtaking. But we must hold on to what we know to be true. Hamas must be stopped. It only brings pain and suffering to the Palestinian people and to the Jews. Israel has an obligation to ensure that never again means never again, and the hostages must be returned. I pray that in achieving this aim, civilian casualties can be minimised, and that guardian angels watch over the IDF soldiers, who include our own friends and relatives. And once Hamas is defeated, I pray that leaders can be found who are willing to take the first difficult steps toward peace, that the Palestinians will choose leaders with their best interests at heart, and that the Palestinian people will prosper alongside Israel. I pray that the Israeli people will again be able to sleep peacefully in their own homes without fear. I pray that we will see the truth of Psalm 121. He who keeps Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Hine lo yanum v'lo yishan shomer Yisrael. Oh, God.